Anambra, and Niger states. That will be on the pundit segment of the show. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. I greet you.
Thank you, citizen.
We are joined also by my friend Paul Dada. Paul, I haven't seen you. Have I seen you since this year?
I don't think so.
Yeah, happy survival to you.
Thank you.
Okay, the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay then, first it was Warri, that's in Delta, then Benin, Edo State, Ibadan, Oyo State, and Akure, Ondo State, amongst others. Earlier today, riots broke out in more Nigerian cities as the federal government and state governors flex their polls. The people were grown in pain. Unrest broke out in parts of Lagos over the policy, while Mile 12, Ojota, that's in the K2 environment, the Agege, Ikotun, Ekpe, amongst other states, other areas rather, were boiling points. Now, anti-riot policemen have been deployed to various flashpoints where the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has appealed to the protesters, saying there is no need for violence as the Supreme Court is on top of the matter. Now, what more can we say? But Nigerians are between and betwixt here.
Yeah.
Currently, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is completely shut down. Protests going on because of lack of new notes, lack of money, citizens paying money to collect their own money in their own country, a bad system. This is a symbol of a bad system. As you can see, the complete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is shut down. There is a serious protest going on, and yet the leaders are sleeping. They can only fly jets. They can only fly plane, but they cannot listen to the voice of the poor masses. When a wrong decision is made, this is what happened. As you can see currently, there is no car movement from anywhere. This is a complete eyewitness report. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway completely shut down.
Right. Pictures that don't tell lies, you know, as we saw there, Jide.
I don't know what to call the situation in which we just deliberately inflict pains on our people. I don't know what to call this. People shouldn't die unnecessarily because of a government policy. There's no reason for that. If you want to come up with a policy, you have to look at how the ordinary people will be impacted by that policy. There's no policy that should take the lives of Nigerians. We've lost more than 4 persons now. I heard even today that some have died. There's no policy that should lead to loss of lives. Policies are meant to enhance the living standards of our people, improve the welfare of our people. That's what we should be seeing. But if it drives people to their death, then what have you gained? That is the point. If you are chasing politicians who use who buy people's votes and all that, yeah, it's a good thing if you are now a convert to electoral integrity. It's a good thing. Because there is no one in today's Nigeria who can win a major election without spending money. It's already our culture. If I convert to it, to now ensuring that our elections are not characterized by blatant vote buying, I'm happy to see that since 2016, I had been preaching against vote buying in our country. It was in Ondo State that we first saw bare-faced vote buying. during the Mimiko election. But
and the politician has no repulse about this.
no, if they continue to get results from vote buying, you can bet that they will not stop. Even this, what we will only achieve is vote buying being reduced by maybe some percentage. Maybe if you are from 100% maybe to 70%. There is no way that you can stop, even at this time, you can't stop vote buying. In fact, a politician was telling me that, look, it has even made that this Naira redesign has made our people cheaper. They will be easier to buy on election day. Because we are used to give people 10,000, 20,000 to buy their votes. If you give somebody who has been looking for knows 2,000, they will take it. Stop kidding yourself that you are going to stop vote buying by this policy. This kind of aberrant behavior, you can only stop it over time.
Yeah.
Let the culture that is antithetical to this, let it gain traction over a period of time, and then it will stop. To just wake up on one side of your bed and think that overnight you can stop vote buying is ridiculous. It shows the quality of thinking of some of our leaders. You really cannot stop vote buying in this election. God will spare our lives. We will see clear evidence of people being bought on election day. In fact, some politicians now, do you know what some politicians have done? Some politicians are already working with some supermarkets, some superstores. They will give you a slip. They've already paid for some product. Oh, when people on social media, they rejoice that because they think this will stop vote buying, they don't know what they are talking about. It won't stop it. But for me, if you inflict pain on the politician, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. I don't like our politicians that much. That's why I keep saying that I will not work for a politician. I didn't just take that decision. But the ordinary man is suffering. As I was coming to the office, I looked at Access Bank on Isheri Road. Come and see people. Come and see people just standing, wasting their time.
I saw a queue at one of the banks. I've forgotten the name now. The queue was longer than those waiting for petrol, so for the ATM.
Yes, and how much is it going to dispense? Maybe in some cases just 2,000.
2,000.
Wasting people's time, ruining their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul, but the exercise in itself is not a bad one.
Yes, you mean the policy.
The policy,
the
to
policy.
Redesign the Naira is not a bad...
I don't think there is any reasonable Nigerian who quarrels with the policy. What we are talking about is the implementation of the policy, the timeline. The timeline. You see, I don't know of any country, okay, that will redesign its currency and expect that their old notes will go in such
overnight.
It does not happen. Even climes that are more developed, they give time. So what we have successfully done is to do what? To inflict pains on the people. And like what BKO said is I can relate to what BKO said about this not curing vote buying. Before we came on there, I told you that I misplaced 500 Naira notes, a new 500 Naira note.
And you started looking.
And I was looking for it. I was looking for it as if I lost 50,000. Why? Normally, I would have not bothered. But I kept looking for it because I know what I go through to get cash. When I go to the POS and I have to pay those.
But let me tease you a little. In all of this, the Supreme Court stepped in. You think what it said by asking everybody to maintain until the 22nd doesn't matter.
What brings sanity to a society is respect for institutions. When I listen,
in this case,
I cannot understand. There's a kind of irony of situation I see in the president's speech. The president said it yesterday that his administration respects the rule of law. He went ahead to say that he had taken notes, agree that the old 500 notes and 1,000 notes should remain legal tender, at least until the Supreme Court decides otherwise. We must respect institutions. Like I said when we were discussing, the Supreme Court does not have to be infallible. But the truth of the matter is, there must be a point where disputes stop. And everybody says, okay, whether you agree with it or not, you can always ask. In fact, Supreme Court can be asked to reverse itself sometimes.
Yeah.
But until then,
it does reverse.
Yes, until
itself,
then, you just have to bear with what the Supreme Court has said. I don't know what we gain by inflicting pains on the people. I don't know.
Jide, has it struck you in any way to realize that in all of this, there is a national census coming in between the presidential election and the governorship election?
I really don't understand why the president is bent on doing the census before he leaves power. You know?
Census 29th February to 2nd March.
I really don't know. Some things baffle me these days. You know? Some things baffle me. And census is highly capital intensive.
What are you telling me?
Honestly. So I don't even know why this time. That should have been left for a new administration. But, well, maybe we tried to copy Obasanjo, but Obasanjo did this about a year to live in office.
2006.
2006. So you have 3 months. You are putting your own legacy in danger. A lot of you see the way people are abusing the president in the north, because the greater pain is in the north. They don't have as much POS operators as we have
up there.
Yes,
and banks.
They don't have banks as much as we. In fact, when someone came on the show and was talking about Zaria, he said once you leave Zaria, along that highway going to Kano, you are not going to find any bank. That's like 1.5 hour journey without a bank.
So if you needed to replenish, no.
And you know these things happen sometimes. You just have to stop, quickly do a transaction inside the bank. It's not every transaction that you can do on your phone. You know? But
all right. Well, the debate must continue, but again, ours is to provoke the debate and keep debating. I wish you well. I'm sorry about what we are going through. Avoidable. All right, we'll take a commercial break now, but we'll return very shortly. Stay with us.
Nigeria needs focused leadership to take decisive action to end insecurity, reposition our economy for businesses to thrive, and restore total peace in the land. Tinubu is the right man for the job. Through innovation and technology, he will reposition Nigeria for businesses to thrive. Nigeria will export more and import less. Tinubu will reposition the agricultural sector for food security and improve farmers' welfare. Electricity will be reformed for a brighter Nigeria. Health, education, and housing. Powerhouse, a home of sporting achievement and a renowned tourist destination. Tinubu's government will build a Nigeria where we prosper together. He has done it before, and he will do it again for Nigeria.
For Renewed Hope 2023, vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Kashim Shettima as President and Vice President of Nigeria. Vote APC.
We work with the National Assembly very closely to review and pass bylaws backing the actions of the government. And in the last periods, the laws that came out were the National Blood Service Commission Act. We also had the National Health Insurance Act, which is a major tool to help to expand the fiscal space for health, which was established in 2018. It's a major public health enterprise to work with international bodies to ensure Nigeria and Nigerians are protected. Now, the last one has been the Mental Health Act, which has just come on stream and which we are working on to give more attention, like the rest of the world, to questions of mental health.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
My name is Kashim Shettima. I'm an agricultural economist by training, a banker by profession, and now a public servant by calling. I was the governor of Borno State for 8 years. In the heat of the Boko Haram, we set up an agricultural transformation committee. We crisscrossed the wall and invested in the whole agricultural value chain. Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of landmass, 3,577 square. In Africa, that is the power of ideas. Bola Tinubu is an idea whose time has come. Let us vote for Bola Tinubu to be the president of Nigeria come 25th of February. God bless Nigeria.
All right, folks, welcome back to our next story. You know, the dog fight between the presidency and state governments is far from over in the Naira redesign matter. An unyielding governor, El-Rufai of Kaduna State, has dared President Muhammadu Buhari on the Naira redesign, saying the old norm, insisting the commander-in-chief's action is a disobedience to the Supreme Court and that he would not hesitate to use Section 281 of the 1999 Constitution as amended to enforce the order of the Apex Court. Now, for the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Moyosore Onigbanjo, the Supreme Court ruling on the matter remains valid. Nigerians are between and betwixt, but first, let's hear the Lagos State Attorney General.
This directive or this speech by Mr. President is quite contrary to the injunctive order granted by the Supreme Court. And I believe Mr. President has enormous powers, no doubt, in the Constitution, but those of the Supreme Court or any court for that matter. So as far as I'm concerned, as a lawyer and as the Attorney General of Lagos State, the interim order of the Supreme Court still stands, basically because Mr. President, even in all his enormity, cannot overrule any order made by the Supreme Court. So my advice is that, not even my advice, I mean, the position of the law is that the order of the Supreme Court prevails. In view of the fact that Mr. President has constitutional immunity from legal process donated to that office by the Constitution, so really the issue of any contempt against him, any contempt proceedings against him is dead in the water because of that immunity granted him, so to speak. But for any other person who directly or indirectly violates an order of any court, more so the Supreme Court, yes, contempt proceedings can be initiated against them. They would actually be in contempt. So all the banks, for example, who refuse to collect the old 1,500 Naira notes, those notes as legal tender in exchange for goods or services, they can also be cited for contempt of the court. Yes, the advisory issued by Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, governor of Lagos State, still stands because it's in total accord with the position of the law as we speak this minute. The CBN, in quote, in its own wisdom, has decided to implement this policy at this particular time. Whilst quite a number of people do not quarrel with the policy, but the implementation as it is unfolding before all our eyes is quite faulty. And I think at this point in time, people who are on the verge of starvation, people who cannot continue with their livelihood, people who cannot access their funds are really not interested in any macro or microeconomic gains. At this point, nobody cares what is the inflation rate or whether it is up or down if I can't get my money.
All right, that's the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Moyosori Onibanjo. Paul, you know, at the time, okay, Governor El-Rufai has also been speaking on the matter. Shall we hear him?
We take seriously our duty to protect ordinary people from the consequences of these policy fiascos. The sad fact is that the victims of these mindless policies are the people that elected us. It is their welfare that is being threatened. We've been officially informed that the currency redesign policy is to reduce money laundering and render useless stashes of high denomination Naira that many politicians and public officers have accumulated through corruption and other illicit activities. On behalf of the Kaduna State Government, I wish to assure you that none of you would lose the money you have in old notes. Let no artificial or illegal deadline frighten you. Whether you live in towns, villages, or in our isolated rural communities, do not feel stampeded to deposit your old notes into the banks. Hold on to them. Continue to use them as legal tender as ordered by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. No deadline can render them worthless, ever. The law is on your side.
Paul, you know, you are wondering if the president can overrule the Supreme Court. And for that matter, are we between a rock and a hard place?
If a president can overrule the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the president becomes a maximum ruler. And there's no difference between him and a military dictator. But our laws do not allow the president of the country to disobey the Supreme Court. Now, opinions are actually divergent on the actions of the pronouncement of Governor El-Rufai and other governors. There are people who say that, okay, that they are defying the president and the states do not, monetary policies is an exclusive list and all of that. The state governors have a responsibility, for the welfare of their people. That's number one. Two, we are talking about an order of the Supreme Court here. You understand? They are actually saying they want to enforce, they want to make sure that the order of the Supreme Court is followed in their state. So they are affirming that not even the president has the right to overrule the Supreme Court. I will not blame the state governors. I will not blame the state governors for what they are. This state, Lagos State, Jigawa, Kaduna, and other states, even Ogun State, saying, look, I know that Lagos State has threatened to even prosecute those who refuse to collect old notes. Now, good a thing.
Is it possible?
Well,
why not?
It's not impossible. Good a thing. We heard that
Sorry, what I meant, that the POS man or woman or boy in your neighborhood is going against the law. Would you be ready to hand them in?
No, it's not even I think they would rather go after the big stores, and sometimes the POS operators also have no choice. They are victims of circumstance. So yeah. I think it's the big businesses, and that they should go after. Everybody should just obey. Everybody should just calm down until the Supreme Court takes a decision on this matter. That is not too much. That is not too much to ask. That should be given in a civilized society. It's not even up for debate.
Well, let's make some money now. We'll go on a commercial break. We'll be back shortly. Please stay with us.
Presidential candidate. According to Korn Ferry, a global consulting firm, by 2030, there will be a global talent deficit of 85 million. Because of our useful population, our geographic location, and our proficiency in English, Nigeria stands a unique chance of becoming the global talent factory. The building behind us is the Secretariat for the Implementation of the Startup Act. It's the Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. Of the 7 unicorns in Africa, 5 are in Nigeria, all in Lagos. It wasn't a coincidence, neither was it an accident. It wasn't magic. It is called leadership. It is the Tinubu effect. Vote wisely, vote Bola Tinubu for the president of Nigeria. God bless us all.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
My brother, my sister, do you know that winning an election is not only about getting the majority vote? For that your candidate to be declared winner of the election, he or she must secure 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all states plus the FCT to be president, and 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all local governments of a state to be governor. This is constitutional, and every presidential candidate has had to pass this threshold. Even governors have had to make this mark to get elected in their states. We live in one country with different languages, religions, and ethnic groups. This is why it is not enough to have only northern votes, or southern votes, or eastern votes, or western votes. The only way to get elected as president or governor is by gaining enough support across the country and states. Let us make sure that we know now so that we don't cause an issue tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO.
When I was younger, I got asked a question by a friend. What is the ultimate dream in life? You see, in my several decades on Earth, I had seen trends come and go, hopes dashed and deserted. But the story of success has taught us that the ultimate dream should be one that inspires you to paddle through the odds to victory. Finally, I had the answer. The ultimate dream is not a destination. It is a journey of pushing through the odds. It is about challenging the norm, to strive for excellence, to always be in motion, to never give up.
Hello guys, do you know that in his Renewed Hope 2023 action plan, Bola Tinubu promised to fix our national security by implementing these common sense measures? The Bola Tinubu administration will increase the number of military and security personnel on active duty across the country, introduce modern doctrines and practices to better engage and defeat terrorists, kidnappers and bandits, upgrade weapons systems and introduce greater domestic production of munitions, introduce new border, forest and community security forces specializing in the protection of remote areas and variable terrain, reposition the police institution to focus on its primary duties of community policing and maintaining law and order, improve salaries and welfare for the families of our fallen heroes. This is the man who turned Lagos from a dangerous, often scary place where crime was the norm into a relatively safe and crime-free place it is today. He has the ideas, he has the track record. Vote APC for a safer and more secure Nigeria. This message is powered by the APC PCC Youth Director.
Okay then, let's stay with the story of the Naira redesign. Jide, at this point, the CBN has directed, that's some 1 or 2 hours ago, that deposit banks should collect old 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes.
Have they confirmed that?
Oh yeah, I watched it.
It's not confirmed?
Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. So
if it's confirmed, then it's something that I'm happy about, because we were trying to confirm it, you know, and we couldn't confirm before we got into the studio.
Okay, I saw it on air.
That is what they should do. If there are thinking people in the CBN, have you seen videos of people in front of CBN?
Yeah.
You've seen videos?
Yeah.
Maybe on Sunday we'll show people even more videos of people who have come with their money, they want to put it in the CBN. the CBN is not a deposit money bank. The CBN doesn't keep individual accounts. Why are you trying to take that responsibility away? The videos that we've seen show clearly that the time that the CBN, the almighty central bank of Nigeria, has given is just not enough. It's not enough. So a lot of people have not been able to bank their money.
Yeah.
They are not saying, look, we are not going to the bank. Don't forget, a lot of people too did not have accounts. So they want to deposit. In the far north, somebody was poking fun at somebody who had about 50 million. I mean, if you lived in the north, if you grew up in the north, for example, it won't be strange to you. That money is not even money. I know people who earn much more than that on a daily basis and they don't use the banks. And these are people whose businesses have been passed from generation to generation. The big time textile merchants in Kano, they don't use banks. And they are very rich. People come all the way from Central African Republic to patronize them. It's about culture. For some of them, it's religious, some is culture. And the truth again is that there are not many banks in northern Nigeria. Some that even we had, with banks becoming more and more capitalist in nature, some of those banks have been phased out. I gave the example of Safe, one of the urban centers in Zamfara. The former governor influenced the coming of UBA into the town. But that branch has been scrapped.
Couldn't survive.
They've been scrapped. So what do you do? They have banks in only 4 communities in the whole of the state. Some of the problems that El-Rufai is talking about is real. If you have a situation, I've talked about having to travel. You are traveling through 3 states. And along the road is only in 4 communities that you find banks. And you are traveling, yes, you are traveling for more than 400 kilometers, just 4 towns. This is the truth. A whole senatorial zone in Sokoto State where the late Sardauna Ahmadu Bello comes from. Sokoto North Senatorial Zone. The late Sardauna hailed from Rabah.
Yeah.
They do not have a single bank in the whole of that senatorial zone. When they want to use a bank, they travel into Zamfara State to go and use the bank in Shinkafi.
Look at the distance.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
This is the truth. So when we are talking about the pains that people are going through, it's easy for people who know very little about our country to think that, oh, he's exaggerating. Oh, it's because he wants people to use money to win election. I've not seen anybody on TV who has fought against vote buying the way I've done. It's since 2016 that I've been fighting about this. When it happened in Osun, and they were putting guns on the ground for people to jump over guns, forcing people to take oaths because of money. I came on this program to shout about it. Some were given concussions to drink so that they will vote for them in exchange for money. I shouted about it. Today's converts to electoral integrity, who would rather watch people suffer and say, no, it's just for a time, let us endure, because they think this will lead to an end. They are so delusional. They are deluding themselves because the politician will still buy votes on election day.
Yeah.
You have to take steps incrementally that makes it impossible for them to do it. It's not something that you can do in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You have to take your time. Come up with this step, come up with that. And no matter how good a policy is, if it is inflicting pain, you have to tweak it.
Exactly.
This same CBN governor, when we shouted, he then increased how much people can take across the counter. He listened, he took it. Now, today, you've gone against that, you said they can only take 20,000. Now, even the 20,000 people go into the bank, they can't take. If you want to go into a bank now to transfer, if you are not careful, the people who have lined up there, they will think that you are a big man, that you want to bribe people and get in. They may even beat you up. Exactly. Somebody wanted to pay for visa, one of our staff here. They told her, don't go inside. He said, no, I'm not coming to take cash. Our husband is a bank worker. He said, I'm not coming to take cash. I want to pay for my visa. He said, don't go inside. People are angry,
People are very
and
angry,
if you do not, if you do not behave yourself in such a situation, they could just strip you naked.
Paul, I wonder if you are like me, who is missing the National Orientation Agency. At the time, this is an exercise which in itself is not a bad one.
Exactly.
But like a new car whose engine you run in gradually, you should reorientate the people. The people should be made ready for it.
So what will the NOA be telling the people now that will convince them?
No.
Yes, I know that NOA
I
know that NOA has not lived up to its billing.
Oh yeah.
But it was the matter. This is even a bad message for any agency to pass. That's the truth. We are talking about killing businesses are being killed because of this action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of businesses have gone under. A lot of small scale business have gone under. Today I was coming to this place. I saw Agege Motor Road being very free on Friday.
Surprising.
I was surprised. A lot of people did not come out. Ikeja, no traffic. A lot of people did not come out because many of them have even run. They have run for their lives.
Yes.
Shops have been closed.
Yeah.
This policy, or the way the policy is being implemented, is not dealing with vote buying. It's rather killing businesses and inflicting pains on Nigeria.
Which was what
so what would the NOA be saying? NOA does not even have a message to pass. What would they be saying?
No, they can only beg people, please don't riot.
Exactly.
But mine is readying the people for a policy like this in a country of 200 million people.
Well, I understand what you are trying to say, but we are even saying that this policy, the way it's being done, is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we are saying.
I agree.
I cannot be persuaded by any message from them. What would they say? Yeah. That we should be patient, we should take the money to the bank, or what? We are saying this policy, change it. I mean, the way you go about it, give it time.
Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Adelabu.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you need to read it.
When
you read it, you'll be convinced that these ones don't know what they are doing, or they just have an intention to inflict pain. Because he also explained that this is not how it is done.
Avail, you know,
it's the timing, the time scale. The time scale, in my view, is the problem. Because they were trying to come up with a time scale that will ensure that the people do not have the funds that they usually have for election. But in doing that, they are inflicting pain. The people should be able to use those two currencies simultaneously until this one is phased out. Because once this one goes into the bank, it doesn't come out. This is not the first time we are changing currency in our country now. This is not the first time.
It won't be the last time.
It won't be the last, because this won't be the last CBN governor that we'll have. By the grace of God, we'll have a CBN governor much better than him in every way.
Amen.
Oh,
I say amen to that.
Come on, Paul. All right. Let the debate continue. But I think it is wrong to put people between a rock and a hard place when we can avoid it. Now we go into talking raw politics. Pundit's Corner, you are not surprised about this. We dissect how the 2023 elections will be fought and won. It must be something that attracts your attention. So, on the Pundit's Corner today, we're beginning or beaming our searchlight.
Day to remember in the history of our dear country, Nigeria. 9 wise men from the north who were governors came together on June 8th, 2022 to stand for equity and fairness in the interest of our nation, Nigeria. They buried personal interest for the unity of our country. They supported the call that power must shift to the South in 2023. They chose a Nigeria agenda. We salute our brothers and sisters in the northern part of this country who, in spite of their vote advantage, continue to propagate the unity of Nigeria by promoting rotational presidency between the north and southern part of the country. Let voters in the north follow the move by these leaders. Vote for power shift to the South. It's the turn of the South to produce the president in 2023. Let's vote Bola Tinubu for president for a renewed hope of better Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it.
Great people of Lagos State, it's election time. It's time to consider the education sector and the tremendous transformation recorded in the past 3 years, ranging from erection of over 1,000 new classrooms in less than 4 years, all fully furnished, introduction of CBT entrance examination and results checking in government schools, job provision through recruitment of over 6,000 teachers, introduction of a co-excel digital learning initiative to enhance teaching in the 21st century, incentives for teachers, introduction of new scheme of work, prioritizing co-curricular activities in school, partnership and collaboration to boost education. All these have led to improvement in WAEC results with about 80% performance, and students now excel and compete with their counterparts across the world. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu is doing more. Re-elect Sanwo-Olu as Governor of Lagos State. Vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as President of Nigeria and other APC candidates across the state. APC Progress. This message is brought to you by Honorable Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, Honorable Commissioner for Education, Lagos State.
The oxygen plants we had in the country before were less than 30. Many of them were not functional. Now, the first thing we did was to get support to activate the existing oxygen plants and then to build new oxygen plants. The federal government built one oxygen plant per state in every one of the federal institutions. And later on, we were able to get support from Global Fund and from UNICEF to further build more. Today, we have over 80, 90 oxygen generation plants, beginning from less than about 30 functional before. And we are going to have at least one oxygen plant in every senatorial zone. I will make sure that oxygen is available throughout the country.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Hello Nigerians, my name is Kashim Shettima. I'm the APC Vice Presidential candidate. Here we have 1,776 orphans, vulnerable orphan girls from northern Borno, all of them victims of Boko Haram, our housed and educated, getting the best that the nation has on offer. Look at this edifice. It's about one of the best schools in the nation. And this has been replicated along the length and breadth of Borno and further sustained by Governor Babagana Umara Sulu. Let us into office. We promise you such edifices will be replicated across the length and breadth of this nation. Vote wisely, vote Bola Tinubu for the presidency of Nigeria come February 25th.
All right, folks, let's go straight to the Pundit Corner, as I said a while back. And we're beaming a searchlight on Anambra and Niger states. First, Anambra.
Yeah, Anambra, there's no governorship election happening in Anambra this time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
focusing on the state assembly elections, the national assembly elections, and then the presidential election. In Anambra is a state in which APGA has ruled for years, but APGA has never succeeded in dominating the national elections. APGA has always lost the presidential election, lost the national elections, but it has always retained control of the House of Assembly and the governorship. So in this, Soludo is trying to see how many federal House of Reps seats he can win for the party, so that the party will not die. His own argument has always been, APGA must not die. This is what Ojukwu handed down to us and all that. So, but when you look at the senatorial election, for example, in Anambra Central, you have Ekwenefe, you have Victor Ume, you have Dozie Nwachukwu. Victor Ume is of Labour Party, and then Dozie Nwachukwu Nwankwo is from APGA. Victor Ume is the candidate of Peter Obi. So it is expected that that Victor Ume will be able to win with it, because that is the person to come for.
Interestingly, Victor
Soludo didn't give him the ticket in anger. He went to Labour. Not that he had always loved Peter Obi, but he then went to Labour. Labour was looking for candidates, looking for people to come and contest, because merely Obi moved in, things changed for the party. So in this contest, Ekwenefe, who is the incumbent senator, has a big fight on her hands. Everything points to a Victor Ume victory.
Ekwenefe is a PDP man.
Yeah, PDP woman, the incumbent senator. But everything points to Victor Obi narrowly taking it. Otherwise, Ekwenefe will retain her seat. Then in Anambra South, we have Ifeanyi Yuba, we have Chris Azubogu. Ifeanyi Yuba is of the YPP.
Yeah.
Chris Azubogu is of APGA, and Obinna Uzo is of Labour. Obinna is from Ihiala. Ihiala people want it this time, but unfortunately, it's just one local government. So Ifeanyi Yuba left APGA for YPP and still won. He's a popular individual. He's capable of winning, and I think that he will win this Anambra South senatorial seat. Then, of course, Anambra North, we have Stella Odua of PDP, Tony Nwoye, the former student union leader representing Labour, and Ebele Obiano, the wife of the former governor.
Yeah.
Ebele Obiano has the resources, and you would think that at least the governor would do his best to help her to win this race. But Stella Odua has an edge over them, because Stella has the resources and the people like her because she's done some work for them. So it looks like something that may go the way of Stella Odua of the PDP. She had to leave the APC for the PDP because she knew the strength that PDP has in Anambra once it comes to those national elections. So it was a calculation that she did. Perhaps she will feel justified at the end of the day. Talking about the assembly elections, Governor Governor Soludo is doing his best. It may just end up like we've had in previous years, whereby the governor throws everything at the House of Assembly elections so that he can retain control of the House, because many Labour Party members are angry with him, and if he does not gain control of the House, they may impeach him. They are very angry with him, and he's come to say, no, Obi will win the presidency, but we don't want APGA to die. Many people are not happy with that interview that he granted, and in the presidency, in the presidential race, Obi will get more than 90% of the votes. All the candidates put together cannot do anything to Peter Obi. Peter Obi will win the presidency, the presidential race in Anambra State. That one is easy to predict. So I'm tipping him to win the presidential race in Anambra. In Niger State, as we conclude, in Niger State, we have Liman Issa Kantigi from PDP, we have Mohammed Umar Bago from APC, and Joshua Bawa of Labour Party. The PDP candidate has the war chest. Everyone dreads him.
It's a three-horse race.
Yes. Everyone dreads him because of the resources at his disposal.
Okay.
And it's already reflecting, it's galvanizing the PDP in Niger State. Many people are already tipping PDP to do very well now because this guy has come into the race with the resources at his disposal, being a generous person, and they think that this is a race that is very, very keen. It's actually 50-50. I'm not going to give it to APC or PDP. It's 50-50 at this stage. If the APC works harder, maybe they may get it because that's the ruling party in the state. Then, of course, the 27-member House of Assembly is also going to be keen because the opposition parties have found some really very competitive candidates at this time. So it's not going to be easy for the APC. Then in the House of Reps, the APC will dominate the House of Reps election.
In Niger State.
In Niger State, will dominate. They are going to win the majority of the House of Reps seats. In the Senate, it's going to be 2-1. It's going to be 2-1. 2 to the APC, 1 to the PDP.
All right.
The APC has to be very careful, especially the governor. There is anger. The governor is contesting, and in the manner the governor took the ticket from the incumbent senator, the former spokesperson of the Senate, Sabi Abdullahi. It has divided the party, and now they have to do their best, otherwise the governor may lose that Senate seat.
All right.
No, we are not done yet. We are not done. Then the presidency.
Yeah.
The presidency, APC has a lot of sympathy in Niger State. So the APC's chances of picking of winning Niger is very bright. And Asiwaju has a long history of good relationship with emirs. Remember Liru Dantoro, his friend, that was the person who even gave him the title Jagaba. So Niger, Asiwaju, they are united on that. So Asiwaju looks very good to win the presidential race in Niger State.
Okay. So it's, as you said, a 50-50 chance.
That is in the governorship and the House of Assembly.
Yeah.
But the presidency is for APC.
At any election, the elector is king. So the pundit has spoken, the rest is left to you. That will just about do it for today's program on Journalist Hangout. Join us on Sunday for another episode for the 2-hour stretch. That's from 1:30. Of course, you have a chance of watching the repeat broadcast of this particular edition at 11 later tonight. And of course, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/tvcnews.com. All right. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
On the 25th of February, Nigerians will go to the polls to elect President Muhammadu Buhari's successor, as well as the 109 senators and 360 members of the House of Representatives who will make up the 10th National Assembly. On the 11th of March, 28 out of 36 states will choose their next executive governors. And the 993 members of the state houses of assembly across the country will be decided. With over 93 million registered voters, Nigeria is on course for 7 cycles of uninterrupted general elections since return of democracy in 1999. Join me on TVC News for the countdown to the February 25th national election and March 11th state election for all the updates and analysis you need to know. Every weekday at 6 p.m.
Join me, Precious Amayo, as I bring you news from the epicenter, where it happens and when it happens, staying on top of every breaking story, minute by minute, right at the hour when the city gets busy and just before it sleeps. We're live from every angle with objective insight and analysis. TVC News, first with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure.
This Sunday,
the freedom of movement is a fundamental human right. But when the right is taken away, what happens?
In 7 days, Nigerians will go to the polls to elect the next president of the Republic and federal legislators. With the social, political, and economic challenges occasioned by the Naira policy, it seems the next few days may be difficult as Nigerians hope against hope. Thanks for joining us on today's program. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Join the conversation live on Twitter with the hashtag TVC Countdown 2023. The presidency is again assuring Nigerians that elections will hold as planned. The idea of an interim government has been addressed in a statement issued by President Buhari's media team. In a nutshell, elections will hold as planned, there will be no interim government, and the APC will win. The president has again stated that his choice is the flag bearer of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who he says will succeed him. And joining us live is our State House correspondent, Femi Akonde, who's with President Buhari in Addis Ababa. Femi, the president is attending the 36th ordinary session of the African Union Assembly where you are, but his senior special assistant is speaking to the situation back at home. Walk us through the main takeaways from this new statement and how reassuring it is for stakeholders in this election.